Hey programming students, I hope you're having a good week so far. I've got a brand new programming challenge for you for this week. I'm assuming that you have all completed the previous assignment where I introduced the idea of writing a MadLib. I have a MadLib computer program, online one here on the computer screen. You can see it. And MadLib, as we learned in the previous lesson, is just a simple template story where a person provides a certain number of words that are substituted for different words in the story, and then when you generate the story using those new words, it can create kind of a funny story. And so I have this online one here. It's a letter from camp, MadLib, and all these different words, adjectives, nouns, names, etc. have all been substituted. And when I go ahead down to the bottom and click Go Mad, in this example I get this funny letter from camp. Dear Aunt, I'm having a ratty time at camp, etc. Okay, so how do we create this kind of thing as a computer program? Well, in the previous lesson I asked you to write your own MadLib, and so I have an example here. You're supposed to write it in Word and then take out at least 20 of the words, and you're going to replace those words with words provided by the person playing the game. And so you can see here I've got an adjective would fit there, a verb here, a noun, a sound, an exclamation, a body part, etc. You can go ahead and fill in each of these with the type of word that would best fit in that spot. So once we have that story and we know what types of words we're looking for, we're going to come over into Microsoft Visual C++ and start to build our program. Okay, let's get started. Here I've got Microsoft Visual C++ open. I'm going to go ahead and make a new project. You're going to want it to be a Win32 console app. I'd like you to give it the name MadLib. I might already have one by that name, so I'm going to call mine MadLib too, but you just call yours MadLib. And you do not need to create a directory for the solution. Just go ahead and click OK. As usual, you need to make an empty project, so go ahead and click this option and choose Finish. We do know that we have to add a C++ new item to the source files folder. I'm going to do that, and I'd like you to call that MadLib as well. And once I get that open, I'm just going to go ahead and paste in the basic start of my program. Okay, you are going to have the IO stream library included, as well as the string library included, and you'll want to use the std or standard namespace, and you're going to have a main function. So all of that is stuff we've done in all of our previous programs. But how do we proceed from here? Well, let's think about it a little bit. You have this story and you have all these words that you need to store. You need to allow the user to input these words when prompted, just like they inputted their first and last name in the personalized greeting program that we did previously last week. So as you think about this, you're going to have to declare a number of variables, probably most likely going to be strings. Could be that you would want a number or two to input in your story, and if so, that would be fine. But you have to decide the best type of data type to hold the input that the user is going to put. So if you decide it's going to be string, if you want to declare string variables, you simply say string, and then say one of the first things you want a person to enter is something like a relative, like an uncle or an aunt or something like that. So you just simply declare it. Say you want to have them enter a number in, like an integer. You could go ahead and do that, and it could just be just put a number. Okay, you decide what the variables are called. You can call them anything as long as the word you use doesn't turn blue, because if it does turn blue, then it's what's called reserved or keyword in C++ and cannot be used as a variable name. But as long as you don't use a word that's reserved, you can pretty much name your variables anything. You could name it number 1, number 2, noun 1, noun 2, etc. like that. So you're going to go ahead and declare all of your variables. Okay, I'm not going to go further with that. Of course, you're also going to have to prompt your user when they play the game to enter in these various things. So for example, you might say enter the name of a relative, enter a first name, enter a number, enter a verb, enter an adjective, enter a body part, okay, enter a place, anyways, you go ahead and prompt the user, and then when you do that, of course, you're going to then have to collect the input that they type into the keyboard somehow. So you're going to want to think about the ways you collect input. We did that in the personalized greeting program, as well as how then you print out the story when you're done. Okay, you're going to have to use a standard output function in C++ to then print out your story with all of these variables inserted into the right place in the story. Okay, and so again, it's going to be similar to what we did in personalized greeting, but it's going to be a lot more involved than that simple program. Okay, so I think I've given you enough hints on how to start, and I'd like you to go ahead and take it from here. Write a MadLib program, allow the user to input all the variables or all the words that they need to put in to complete the story, store all that input in variables, and then in the end print out your finished story with all the variables put in the right place to create an interesting and hopefully funny story. Okay, that's your assignment for this week.